I know that I'm an old school. So blog is, for the first time when the idea of blog came in, I thought, what is blog? Blog was a word. It was a new terminology. When we used to write essays in school. We used to write letters. We used to write articles. So the whole idea after the internet revolution, the whole idea of blog took shape. So it was relatively a new concept. So let's explore a little about blog. Basically, it's a discrete piece of writing, a distinct piece of writing. I think we should know this definition of blog because this will really help us to anchor before we actually begin to write. So it's a distinctive piece of writing, usually written on an informal style. That gives us a lot of freedom. When someone says it has to be written in an informal style, that actually takes us as English teachers out of our role as an English teacher, which is very important at this point before you learn how to write a blog. So it is usually written in informal style, and it's a distinct your own idea, and more importantly, it's published on internet. Now that's the key. It's published on the internet. Now, why I'm stressing on the fact everyone knows about it, a blog is posted on internet, but why I'm stressing on the fact that it's published on internet. Now, internet is like a huge monster which feeds on contents. It is also like a huge field where different types of crops are grown and different people come for their own preferences of this crop. Someone may like wheat, someone may like paddy. So what I'm trying to say is that when you are writing for internet, you need to have very specific idea about the subject, very specific idea about the audience, the kind of audience, because all of them are not going to read, the blog. It's only the people who might be interested in your topic or in the topic will be actually reading it on internet. So internet lies a huge monster, as I told you, everything out there. Writing, we cannot please everyone through our writing, or everyone out there is not our audience. So it has to be very specific and focused. Now, these three things, really help us to put ourselves in a very comfortable position. I know when English teachers, or for anyone for that reason, when they're asked to write, especially our English teachers, we get a little defensive, or rather I would say, a little conscious about spellings, the grammar, the ideas, the organization, the way we write essays and the way we teach essays to our students. But blog is a kind of freestyle writing, that puts us in a lot of comfort. Now, let's move to the next session. What's the purpose of writing blog? Why do we why do people generally write blogs? The motivation or the purpose remains different to different people. Some of them just want to share their expertise. They're interested to share their knowledge with the rest of the world. Many of them are really, really keen on sharing their experiences. This is where all the travel blogs come in place, where I know a lot of people who travel a lot, they write their own blog. And the whole idea is to share their experience, their unique experience with the rest of the world, which, and then there are people who want to express themselves. So here was a question, is it necessary to publish? Not necessary, but at least writing is important. So people do write blog even to express themselves. Not necessary that the world reads it, but there are people who just write and keep it there without publishing too. Then there are writers who keep writing blogs, and as a part of their as a part of a bigger goal to write a book. So a lot of aspirant writers who find it difficult to compile or to write an entire book in a certain time limit, or who are really finding it very difficult to organize ideas in the form of a book, they can initially begin writing blogs, independent or individual blogs. And maybe sometime in the future, if they have a collection of good blogs, they can compile it together and publish in the form of a book. So that's one of the reasons why a lot of people write blogs. Then the next reason is finding others. Yes, similar, like-minded people. A very personal experience, like I do write. Sometimes I do write small micro blogs, in the form of status and on Instagram. But they are micro blogs. They are not this kind of blog. But then that attracts like-minded people towards the idea or towards the concept or the principle that you want to promote. So maybe one purpose of writing blog is to attract like-minded people. And then this is one of the most popular purpose, or one of the most sought after reason why people write blog, and that's making money. Now, why people write blogs to make money? Yes, I know people who have subscription of 40,000, 50,000 readers or readers on their blog. I mean, they can collaborate with companies and they can allow advertisement of these companies to be published on their blog, and they can earn money in that way. People can, or bloggers can, participate in affiliate programs of various companies where they can recommend their products or services and can earn out of that affiliate program. This is just like an Instagram influencer who would promote a certain product or services on behalf of a company among the followers and can earn revenue out of that. Some people earn money out of content marketing. They write blog on behalf of companies and they earn money. As an organization, we do a bit of content marketing for our clients and we are paid for that. So this is also one of the way of making money through blogs. And more significantly, which may be very relevant to your case or your English language teachers, teaching a course. If you write blogs, that creates a kind of authority among your students, and that updates them about the current happening in the industry, current happening current happening with the test or anything that you are teaching to your students. And writing a blog is one of the most popular way to really promote your teaching among the target audience. Students can share it on various social media platforms. And when people read something which is written, subconsciously they develop a kind of acceptance, which in turn develops trust and authority. So these are the various ways how people are making money out of their blog or writing. So these are various purposes. Now let's get into the whole writing process, and we will divide the writing process into three main stages. So it all begins, but unlike academic writing, there is a little difference here, which I think as potential bloggers, we should know. And when we deal with bloggers or writers, we generally impart this basic training to them because they may be good at writing. They may be good at academic writing, but there are certain expectations when it comes to blog writing or writing for a specific audience. So it all begins with defining the goal or the purpose, as we discussed. What is actually the purpose of writing this? Yes, in the beginning, I told that blog, you find it on internet. Now, internet is a monster or a huge field. So you need to be very, very specific with everything that you do with your writing on internet. So the first thing begins with defining a very specific objective or defining the goal. And I think as teachers or as bloggers, you should make it very clear. This remains my goal. It can be like, let me give an example. This in context of IELTS students. Now, I'll be writing a blog on IELTS. I'm just giving an example. I'll be writing a blog on IELTS writing for those students who are at level 5.5 on IELTS writing and who are really looking to enhance their score by 0.5 and taking their level to 6. So I have this specific audience in mind, right? So my objective is very clear. My objective is to inform them. My emphasis is to train them, to teach them, to make them aware. Her intention is to contribute to someone or contribute to a cause where people can really take that information and develop themselves. So that goal has to be crystal clear. Now, there cannot be any ambiguity or vagueness in that. So because internet, as I told you, it's deadly to be general on internet. We need to be very specific in whatever we are doing. That's the first principle, I would say, or first thing under the planning section, which you need to consider. The next would be knowing your audience. Not everyone is going to read your blog, and actually we don't write for everyone out there. So you need to know who are you the people who would be reading this. So the whole idea boils down to this simple fact that before you write a blog, you need to have a very clear understanding of who the audience is. And the more or the deeper you go, the better it is, when it comes to narrowing down on the audience. Now, having said that, or something which is related to knowing audience is called the research. What are people looking for on internet? There was this person who asked me, sir, there are tons of information online. How can we judge what is good and what is ideal or appropriate or authentic or original? These days everyone goes through all those stuff published. But what are these people looking for? How can you help yourself attracting the right kind of audience to your blog page or your blog post? That's where a little bit of research is significant. And there are tons of research tools available which can use to figure out the right word, to know what people are looking, to know what people under your classification or the audience that you have classified is actually looking for. So here are a few search tools that you can use. You can just type them in the Google and can find. The first and the most popular search or keyword search tool is Google Keyword Planner. Where you can really get to know what are people looking for. Are they really, this is a place where you can validate your ideas or can get to know what people are looking for on internet. There is another tool called Questions DB. This is another tool where the search is given in question format. What are the kind of questions students or people ask on internet? And so this will give you an idea about the topic that you can choose, the tone or the content or the substance that you can really consider before writing your blog. There is another tool called as LSI Graph. This was actually give you an idea about the popularity or the frequency of keywords that people use to find information. Now, if you have a very specific keyword, let me give an example. If say IELTS writing, so if you just search this on LSI Graph, you'll get all the write-ups on internet with this keyword and their their viewership and the popularity of those kind of blogs and contents. So these tools will actually give you an idea what keywords are popular on internet, what keywords are people looking for, what does the audience want to know. So this can set direction for your blog. All right. So it's just like a market research. What do people want? And then you can produce content accordingly. So which will obviously give a lot of traction to your page or to your blog post. And then there is SEMrush, which is an advanced SEO tool. These are actually SEO tools and keyword locator, and you can use this keywords to really figure out direction where you can really figure out a direction that you can use to write your blogs. So this is the place where you can validate your ideas. That's what I'm saying. If you have something on mind and you're not sure whether this will work or not, go to the internet, go through these tools, search the keywords. This will project a lot of stats and trends on internet, which will give direction to your blog. So the first one is defining your goal. The step is knowing your audience, who are these people whom you're writing for. then actually what are they specifically looking for on internet related to what you're writing. And then comes collecting resources. As you do your resources, as you do your research, I'm sure that you'll come across a lot of content on internet. You know, you're doing your research, you'll come across blogs, images, articles. Please save them or please bookmark them, so that you can use them, when you are creating something. This can be images, this can be other blogs that you can use as reference. You can also read tons of articles. I know that Cambridge English and IELTS, they publish a lot of content on IELTS and other English language teaching, including British Council, when they also publish the same. So as you do your research, whenever you come across something, something that you consider it's relevant to your writing, you can always save them, bookmark them, download them, or can make a swipe file. And then the last step would be, under the planning section, would be creating a publishing schedule. Now, if you're seriously considered to be a blogger, this is what you have to do. I mean, you need to schedule your writing or your publishing. Once a blog in a month, it can be twice a blog, two blogs a month. This can be four blogs a month, depending on how comfortable it is and depending on your availability. But then I think it's always advisable to publish a schedule, or to actually design a schedule for yourself. This will make yourself accountable to you, not only to others, but to yourself. I mean, it's really good and it's really important. So all this includes under the planning stage: defining goal, knowing your audience, researching keywords, collecting resources, and creating a publishing schedule. The next stage involves the actual writing, and there are two important aspects to writing. But blog writing can be a little different than the academic writing. Here, enhancing your writing style. Style is significant in when it comes to blog writing. I mean, you have to write as if you have to write like you talk, very communicative. The flow has to be there. When someone reads, they must be able to visualize, they must be able to follow it quickly. No jargons, no complex sentences. Write smaller paragraph, make it visibly comfortable or make visibly attractive for the readers to read it. And if you can use bullet points, nothing like that, to explain to make a point, simplify as much as possible, capitalize the heading, to make it more attractive. So there is this heading is very crucial. I mean, let me give an example of the heading of this session: how to write a killer blog in less than 2 hours. Quite attractive, isn't it? So there is this website called coschedule.com. You can go and here you can really analyze for example, if you're writing a heading to a blog, whether it's really catchy, whether it's really attractive, whether it can really attract the attention of people, you can come to know from this website, coschedule.com. This website actually analyzes those factors in details and will give you statistics. So you write a title and you're not sure whether the title is attractive or catchy, you can go to this website and check. And this website can really help you to understand that. And then use grammar and plagiarism check. It's very important. Everyone knows about Grammarly. There's another website called plagiarismdetector.net. Authenticity is a significant factor here. So, I mean, blogs, plagiarism free and free of grammar error, grammar mistakes. It's very important that your blog is free of all these things. So these are the ways you can really enhance, can make your language very simple, lucid, easy to understand, smaller paragraphs, use bullet points. Let me show you a blog that I follow, and it's very interesting. So this is the blog I am talking about. Deepak Kanak Raju. He has got more than 50,000 followers, more than that. And he's one of India's famous blogger. Look at the way he has written this blog. 2 sentence, 1 sentences, many times. Look at the language, simple, no jargons, no difficult words, bullet points here. So remember these points, this style, this format. So there's another blog that I have written for my company here, why you should study abroad. This is another format. This is one that I have written for my company, why you should study abroad, reasons. So you can really, the images here, and then right. So when it comes to blog, and a lot of people may have this question, what should be an ideal length of this blog? All right. So these are some of the ways you can really enhance your writing style. Now it comes to the speed. I know writing is for many, it's a Herculean task to sit and write and organize and proofread. It's really a time-taking thing. Now the title here suggests how can you write around a blog of say 2,000 words in less than 2 hours. Why 2,000? There is a school of thought that says that, okay, 500 to 700 words an ideal word count for blog, that's absolutely fine. But the research shows that, research on internet by various internet companies or various blog, organization involved into analyzing the data shows that a blog with around 2,000 words gets more traction, if you take statistics, and if you analyze the most popular blogs, and these are the blogs that was written around 1,500 to 2,200 words. So on average, if your blog is a 2,000 word blog, it gets more traction. There's more chances that people read it, and there are more chances that people may share it. Now, these are based on research. You can just go and on the Google and search this. So a blog that has, a blog that is 2,000 words gets more traction. That's what research on the internet shows. So if you're planning to write anything, 500 to 700 words, there's a school of thought that believes that anything between 500 to 700 is okay, it's fine. For those students, for a quick read, it's fine. But if you're really looking at to be a serious blogger and planning to get a lot of traffic on your website or blog site, I think this remains an ideal word count. So how can you really improve writing? Now that's a question that a lot of people, even when we go into the sessions, we ask, our students ask us, or learners ask. And the first thing is brainstorming and mind mapping. As you can see here, I have used a mind map. I have really brainstormed this session before making this mind map. What are the points that I'm going to cover today? So I have just wrote down, brainstormed all those points, and then made a mind map of this here. So if you are really interested in quickly writing something, I think what you can do is to really jot down points that you're going to cover. And you can use this tool called voice mapping. It's a free mind map tool. The one that you can see on your screen. This is a free mind map tool. Arranging or organizing, it's a beautiful way of organizing ideas. It's a beautiful way to brainstorm. And this tool gives that flexibility to really organize things and make, because mind is cluttered with so many things. It doesn't necessarily happen that the thought comes in a linear way. So it has to be organized. So there we have something called voicemapping.com. a mind map tool which help us to do it. So I know a lot of people, they think that they are quite spontaneous in writing. So the flow, once they start writing, they think that once they start writing, the flow will continue. That's fine for some, a very few, but it's always advisable to think of the structure, the larger structure, the skeleton. And this was taught to us during our school days. It's always wise. The next thing is setting a timer and write. So I use this technique called Pomodoro Technique, which is basically chunking down the writing process into 25 minutes, a time slot of 25 minutes duration, 25 minutes duration, where I write for 20 minutes, then take a break for 5 minutes, and then again start writing for another 20 minutes, break of 5 minutes. So this is called the Pomodoro Technique. You can just Google out what Pomodoro Technique. It's a time management tool. And while you do this, you have to keep yourself away from all kind of distractions. And since all this, and since this is, chunking the time that you take, so it creates, it makes you more productive, provided that you are away from the distractions. A wonderful time management tool or one time management technique here. So I can say with a lot of conviction, because I write SOPs in this way, where I have to write 2-page, 3 pages SOPs not for admission, but for visas, and that to deliver quickly to clients. This technique works. Yeah, I mean, then as all writers, we often, say that we don't have time, but then you have to find some time and make it a habit of writing, no matter no matter how much time you have. So it happens someday I'm very busy, so I get 10 minutes, write something, or someday I write 2 hours, or someday I write 1 hour, but then you need to have a routine of writing, and it can be flexible to some extent. I don't need to talk about distractions. Everyone knows about it. And then there is self-judgment. I think, yes, this is one of the biggest blocks that I often, when I talk to people, and even I experience this in the initial stages, as someone into training and teaching, this comes very naturally, whether I'm right or I'm wrong, whether the audience will get the right thing or not, whether they'll be happy, whether they'll be sad, or they'll confuse. I mean, you have to really stop self-judgment. A lot of self-judgment. You need to believe yourself and convinced of what you're doing. That's one of the things that everyone needs to, a writer especially needs to do before getting into the journey of writing. And then procrastination, that you're all qualified people. I don't need to tell you about what procrastination is and how to really get rid of that. There are tons of courses available online that these days that train us to stop procrastinating and becoming more productive. So one thing is for sure, if you practice this, then writing becomes a habit. And once that becomes a habit, we don't really need to invest a lot of willingness and a lot of energy in generating that willingness from us. That's one thing. So once you enhance your writing style and improve your writing speed, the next step involves publishing it. Yeah. There are 2 aspects to it, formatting and proofreading. Let's talk about formatting first. How do you format your blog? Use headline tags, the tags that you use to make it more searchable on internet. What are the keywords? Basically, these are the keywords that people may use to find or to reach your blogs. So, you can really develop this ability to find the right tags, doing this over and over and again. Images, as authentic publishers, you cannot copy someone's image or images that comes under copyright. So we have here 2 free sources, pexel.com and Unsplash. These are 2 websites where you can download copyright-free images and can use for your websites. And here you find some high-definition images. I often use a lot of images from these 2 websites, Unsplash and pexel.com. And then you can use hyperlinks. If you have other blogs written, and if you want to really take students while reading, if you want to take the readers to your previous blogs or other sources of yours or someone else, you can always use hyperlinks, backlinks. and eventually call to action. As I told you in the beginning, there is this specific purpose of writing the blog. So what is the purpose? Is the purpose to attract readers onto your website? In that case, you can give a call to action button in the end that takes them to your website. Or you're offering a services and you want them to connect through this blog, you can really put a call to action button in your blog. So call to action is a very significant thing. I mean, yeah, because it drives the reader from the blog page to the place where you want them to be. This can be your website. This can be to your other blog or previously written blogs. This can be to your contact. Proofreading, spell check, grammar. I don't need to tell you on this. Read aloud. This, I mean, I do a lot of reading of this thing, you know, because when you read and when you read aloud, you get a chance to listen to yourself, and that really brings a different perspective to your writing. How would a listener, how would a reader listen to your ideas when they read? How do listeners or how do readers listen to your ideas when they read? So read aloud really takes you into that mindset or that frame of mind, the stage. Keep reading your write-up again and again to see if this could be simplified again, if this can be made further into simple, easy, understandable language, you know. And one of the barrier or one of the roadblock that I see among academicians, so they're habituated writing reports and academic text. So when it comes to blog, a lot of their writing is influenced by what actually influenced by the original way of writing things, and readers want a more simplified things. And eventually you can go and publish with the confidence, you know, taking into consideration all these things, you can really go and publish. So that's those are the 3 stages.